Hello guys, Gene here with G Squared Tactical. It's kind of hard for these type videos not to be long, but I'll try to keep it as least boring as possible. But back when I started this channel, before I started this channel actually, I would have guns, I would buy guns, I would see reviews, I would have an issue with one, and it's like I was screaming to a brick wall when I would see reviews like, wait a minute, wait, I'm having this problem, I'm having this problem, but no one heard, no one seen. I would comment on the channels, my favorite channels, I would never get a comment back, literally never. And so I started this channel, and one of the reasons, not the only reason, but one of the reasons why I started the channel, so I could give people like me, like who I was, people like that, a voice, a platform, if you will, where they could address their concerns to me, and I could showcase those concerns online or on the internet or on YouTube or what have you. And I could even call them out by name. This is where the problem comes in. All day long, it's like I'm living in an alternate universe. My phone constantly just alerting me, this response, that response, this alert, that alert from YouTube, where people are commenting in the comments section. So, and I have less than just a hair less than 40,000 subscribers. So I could only imagine those who have a million or 3 or 4 or 5 million. There's literally no way. There's not enough people, not enough staff that they can possibly read or comment back to all of those. No way. I have tried. Somebody said I was a machine. I am not. I have tried my best, but it's just getting to the place where it is like I'm in a twilight zone. I'm not going to be able to continue to do it in the way that I have. And I do apologize for that. I don't want to be a hypocrite. If you've noticed, I've stopped saying comment, ask questions, I get back to everyone. I don't say that anymore because it's getting to a place I'm not going to be able to do that, okay? That's why I'm encouraging everyone to go over to Patreon. I mean, even the biggest YouTubers only have 8, 9, maybe 1,000 monthly paid supporters over on Patreon. And that is way less than 2 million, 3 million, or even 40,000 in the case of me. And so the people that are willing to pay $5, $10 a month for their gun content are serious people. And you have a platform that is more condensed for me so that I can not only address your concerns right there on the Patreon, but I can also bring a video over, mention you by name, let you have a voice, and showcase what your concerns are on YouTube. And that way you're not talking to a brick wall like I used to. So what I have here on the table, I'm going to address a couple of things that some folks have said. What I have on the table is the original OG P09. I have the very first, buy only a little bit. My second one, I think I said the other day that my first one was the SP01 CZ75, but I believe after looking back at it, I actually bought this one first. It's the CZ75 P07 Duty. It says SDN Mexico DF, Department of Defense, I believe is what I was told is an overrun. That's how I got this one. I've always believed it was special. We'll see. Anyway, P07 Duty, OG, very first. What made me fall in love with CZ? I have my, what some refer to as the P07 Tactical and Urban Gray, but it's not considered tactical by CZ. It's just a threaded barrel version with suppressor height sights. I have my compact Nocturne and my full-size Nocturne. So, one of the gentlemen, I believe his screen name is Waterhead, not making that up, that's what it is, said that he was having issues with his slide locking back with one round left in the magazine, and it only happened with hollow points. Now, obviously, sitting here on the table, I can't test that, but I plan to. We're having a hurricane right now here in North Carolina, so it's kind of difficult for me to get out to the range. But another guy said that there was something up with the ejector, that the ejector, he had to move it slightly to the right of the firearm looking down range in order to get his slide on. And I thought that all of these, every CZ I've ever had, I had to do that with. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. I certainly do have to do that with my Nocturne Compact here. I haven't checked this one yet, but he said that because of that, he was having lockup and ejection issues as well. I could certainly see that. He was, I mean, because I know I'm not a gunsmith. I'm not even really I'm less than average probably when it comes to guns and their function. 3D Gunner has a very slow-mo video, a nice one of showing how semi-automatic pistols work. But the lip of the extractor here on the right side, looking down range again, grabs the lip of the round. It pulls it back. And hits the ejector, and from the blowback of the explosion, it comes back. The extractor brings it with it. It hits the ejector and throws the round out to the right side of you. Okay, if that ejector were to hit it at a place that it should not, because it is precise. Again, I know this is a dumbed down way of saying it. It could definitely drive it into the side of the slide. I could definitely see that. So maybe that's what was going on with the Honest Outlaws. Now, I have not had that issue. I did have an issue in the last video I put up where when my wife was shooting it, it didn't happen with her, although it looked like it. I think it was just an optical illusion. I had some underpowered ammunition in there while I was shooting it suppressed, but definitely happened while I was shooting it that not only did the spent casing come out, but a whole unfired round came out with it. Again, I was shooting suppressed. I'm not going to knock on the gun because it did not come from the factory suppressed. I switched the barrels in the Urban Gray and the Compact Nocturne here, so I'm not going to knock it for that because, again, it did not come from the factory suppressed. So what I want to do is I want to take the slide off of all of these guns, and I want to check this whole ejector thing. If it seems to be more loose or in a different spot on the Nocturne versus the original POs here. And so I'm going to take the slides off and come back and we will see what we got. So I got all the slides off. It's kind of funny because I took some Post-its here and a marker and I marked. It's just, anyway, I took all of the takedown pins, slide lock, I put over here and labeled each one of them so I would know I got them back on the right gun. It's kind of funny. But anyway, again, I know this is not going to be the greatest, but I'm trying to address what this guy said. So this is my P07 duty. And here is the ejector. Again, I know that's not really going to show up well for camera, and I do apologize. But here's the ejector. You gotta take my word for this because there's no way I'm gonna try to get this camera in focus on this little tiny part. But he was saying that I don't know if he had an original, but it seemed like his ejector moved more to the right side of the gun looking down range versus this one moves forward, so it moves towards the front of the gun. So I don't know if that shows up for camera, but you can see me pushing down on it and it does go towards the front of the gun. There seems to be very little. There is some play to the right side of the gun, I will say that, but not a huge amount. I haven't even checked that on this one yet, so I'm doing that right now. So pushing this ejector towards the front of the gun, I would say that it seems to have about the same amount of forwardness, if you will, going forward. Yeah, it's about the same amount. I mean, it doesn't really seem to be any difference there. It is going forward. Yeah, definitely the same amount. So let's go to the right here. Okay, let's try that. Man, it's hard to say. I mean, it might actually be going a little bit. This one seems, on the Nocturne, seems like it might be a little flimsier. It's difficult, very difficult to say. So let's just try to put the slide back on as he was talking about and see if I have to adjust the ejector in order to get it on. So I did not. It goes straight on there. So didn't have to adjust anything. So we'll put the duty over here. Say that's the closest one in comparison that I have other than the Urban Gray threaded barrel. So let's slide the Nocturne on here, compact. And I do indeed come in contact with the ejector there. So it is hitting it to the right. So it's not hitting it up and down, as in I need to push the ejector down. As you can see, if I do that, it doesn't make a difference. All it really does is pushes the slide forward. It's definitely hitting it to the right of the gun on the slide. So I do have to take and move it over slightly to the left of the gun in order to get the slide to go on. So that is true. Now, does that make a difference? I don't know. I didn't design the gun and I'm not a gunsmith. I don't know if it makes a difference or not. So let's try it on the original OG P07, or I'm sorry, P09 here. Definitely seems to have more play forward this way and not so much to the left. But let's just slide it on here and see if we have to adjust it. So that one is hitting the same way. So I move it to, you heard the little click there, I move it to the left and it slides right on. So let's try the full-size Nocturne here and let's see about that. So it moves forward about the same. Seems to have about the same amount of play. So let's put the slide on here. This is the full-size Nocturne. And it is hitting it again to the right of the firearm if you're looking down range. So if I pull it to the left, you heard it click, it slides right on. Okay. Let's get the P09 Urban Gray threaded. I'm not even going to touch this ejector. I'm just going to put it on like I took it off. See if it hits anything. So it did not hit anything. It went straight on without an issue. So let's not play with the thing. Let's just take it off. This one's always been a little difficult to get off. So, all right, so this is the P09, full-size P09. And I just took it straight off, and I'm going to try to put it right back on without fingering the ejector, if you will. See what happens here. So it does hit. It still hits, whether I fingered it or not. It's hitting just slightly to the right. It's hitting the back of the slide. If I push it over, you can hear it noticeably click. It slides right on. Okay. So let's go to the Nocturne here. Let's do the same thing with that. Let's not finger on the ejector, and let's just try to put the slide back on here. So that time it goes straight on. So I don't really know. Again, I'm not a gunsmith. So we go with the full size Nocturne, just pull the slide off, push the slide back on, and it still hits just to the right, again, towards the right of the firearm. Push it over to the left, and it slides right on. I don't know if there's anything to that or not. If I take the Nocturne here, and I move the, let's take the original P07 here. I'm gonna have slides and stuff on stuff that don't even belong on. If I'm just looking at the two ejectors, I mean, naturally to me, if you're just looking at them, I'll try to put a picture up of this. You have to understand, this is my OG. This is my OG. It's got a lot of miles on it. Definitely looks as though, you can see that there is a lot of wear on the Nocturne ejector here. And there's, because you can see the coating I don't know if that means anything, but all the coating is still on this one. You have to understand, I've probably put 3 or 4,000 rounds through this one, and I'm in about 800 on this one. Maybe, maybe not. Totally have no idea. The only thing I can do is report my experience. I've had no issues with the Nocturne compact or full size. But just looking at them, they look to be, I don't know. On the Nocturne, definitely the ejector looks to be sharper at the end. This one seems to be more thick all the way out to the end. This one comes to a more sharp point at the end. Again, don't know if that means anything, but there definitely seems to be a difference. This one does definitely, on the original P07, it does definitely seem to be kind of conformed, if you will, a little differently. I don't know. Again, it may or may not have something to do with changing or being able to change out the safety, or the fact that they thinned out the slide lock and the safety or decocker on the Nocturne. Again, totally have no idea. But there does seem to be a little bit of a difference between the original POs, P09, P07 ejector, and the one on the Nocturne. But as far as movement, front towards the front, it seems to be the same side to side. It seems like about the same amount of play. There might be a little more play in the Nocturne. I'm not sure. Again, I'm just trying to address some concerns that people have commented about. Waterhead, I'm going to shoot a couple different types of defensive ammo. I do care about your experience, but I'm going to shoot what I carry because, of course, that's what matters to me most. And the other gentleman that commented about the ejector, I don't know. Just trying to give you a voice here. Maybe if there is something different, maybe that would cause it to drive into the side. It definitely would cause it to drive into the side of the slide, just like what the Honest Outlaw experienced. And maybe you're on to something, and you get to have a voice now. You get to share your experience through me, and it's my pleasure to do that. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, for you guys that want to get your voices heard, I will call you by name. Waterhead has been a supporter of mine since almost 2020, since the beginning, really. So I'm calling him out by name. But go over, consider just monthly support, small amount on Patreon, and we can talk more about this without all of the noise of YouTube and the constant just non-stop stuff and flow. I can't do it. I just can't. I'm not going to be able to do it like I was before. But we can talk about things like that, and I can give you a voice on YouTube. Your concern can be shared on YouTube without the expense of you starting a YouTube channel. And I think that's an excellent use of the Patreon platform, rather than me trying to figure out how to upload exclusive content, which maybe I'll do one day. But this is exclusive to me, and I'm sure the guys that want this information. Anyway, again, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe on here, hit the thumbs up, consider supporting me on Patreon. Also, I'm over on Rumble, trying to work that thing out. And as always, make sure you know Jesus Christ is your Savior, and to God be the glory.